Hey everybody, welcome back to Play the Game HQ. I'm Daniel, and I want to tell you about Wine Cellar. This is a new bidding game from 25th Century Games. It's part of the Kickstarter that they have going on with all four of these games, actually part of that Kickstarter. But this video, we're just going to tell you about Wine Cellar, and we'll cover those other games in separate videos. This is a bidding game. It's designed by Andrew Stiles, the artist from Vince and Dutrait, and it is a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. When I saw it, I was really excited to play it. I like bidding games. I like the bidding mechanic. And I think this game does some really interesting things that make it unique enough amongst the bidding games to warrant being on your shelf next to all of the other bidding games that you have. What you're doing in this game, you are playing rival sommeliers who are competing to build the best 8-bottle collection of wine. You're going to be bidding on the order in which you get to choose bottles from the prize pile, and then you're going to add those to your collection. Now, when you add a bottle to your collection, the first bottle is just going to be there, and then each bottle that you get after that has to go above or below the bottles already in your collection. And then at the end of the game, you're going to score for where they are in position in your collection. So they all have these numbers 1 through 8 and a value above them. So the number 1 bottle is going to score, in this case, 7 points. Number 2 is going to score 8. Number 3 is going to score 8, all the way down to the number 8 bottle scoring 8 points. So as you are bidding, as you are deciding which bottle to take, you need to look at what you already have and decide where it would best fit in that and which bottle is going to best keep you in a good position over here. It may be that the first bottle that you add, maybe this first bottle that I put in, I thought was going to be my number 4 bottle, but had to be shifted down and become my number 5 bottle. So the first bottle you put in may be in the middle, or it may be at the top. Maybe you started with this 8 bottle and just said, you know what? This is worth 8 points. I'm building all the way up from here. Or maybe you're okay if this goes to 8 or 7, but you want this to be towards the bottom of your stack and you just build up. It all depends on the first bottle that you get, and or kind of if you're a low bidder on the first round, you may get stuck with just working off of whatever you're given. But as you go through the game, you're constantly making choices on and weighing where those bottles need to go and how that's going to set you up for future additions to your collection. I really enjoyed that decision making. I like a game that forces me to sacrifice at times. That's not always going to give me an optimal outcome, but you're making decisions, just making strategic decisions throughout the game. And I like that this wasn't just I'm going to bid and I'm going to try and get the best value. I liked the shifting of that. Maybe with like some bidding games where you're trying to complete a set, but you'll have other opportunities to get different cards in the set. I liked that this was I think how to say it best. Like I liked that I was kind of stuck into having to add to the top or bottom of it. I wasn't just trying to complete a set. I was trying to complete a set in a somewhat specific order. You do, again, have the option of going on the top or bottom, so it's not just fully sequential, but it is that balancing act and that push and pull of where it would be best to go and trying to balance that as you play through the game. Now, the actual bidding, you're going to start with 1 card per player in the prize pile, and everyone's going to have 8 cards in their hand at the beginning of the game, and you're going to bid a card from your hand secretly. Once everyone is bid, you're going to flip it over. Whoever has the highest card gets to pick first. Second highest goes second, and all the way down until the lowest valued card, the person who played that gets to pick. And then the cards that were bid each round are going to be the prize pile for the next round. So at the beginning of the game, you have all 8 cards in your hand that you're going to be bidding with, and you can decide kind of which ones you want to save for later. Maybe early in the game, you don't really care what your choice is. You'll say, I'm just going to get rid of my low cards early, and then I'll make it work, and I want to save choice for the end of the game. Or you say, I really want to have a lot of control over the first few bottles in my collection, and then I'll just kind of go with the luck of the draw later. Probably not as effective of a strategy of saving control for the end of the game, but regardless, as you bid, you know what cards you have in your hand at the beginning, so you can kind of plan out how you're going to use those cards, and you do see what's available each round before you actually bid. So the cards are on the table, you're choosing your order of like the strength of cards you want to bid, and you can see every card that's available. So it may be that you really need a card with a strong middle number, but maybe there's 4 or 5 cards out there that would work for what you want to do. So you're going to bid low because you know that Like, the odds are most of those cards are going to be available. But those are the decisions that you're making as you play the game, is where you want to be in the bidding order, and then after you choose a bottle, where it's going to go best in your collection. You also have the client cards, which are a second calculus in the bottles that you take. So the client cards show a couple of different icons. Some of them only have one, some have two, but they're showing different icons that match up to icons on the neck of the bottle. And you're just going to get bonus points for each of those icons that you have in your collection at the end of the game. And then you're also going to get points for having bottles from a specific country of origin. And that is based on player count, just because of the distribution of different countries at different player counts. So at the end of the game, you're going to count up the value for your collection, again, based on their position, bottle 1, 2, 3, all the way through 8. And then you're going to add up the points from your client card, and the player with the highest score at the end of the game wins. It was a really fun game, and it felt just as balanced at 3 players as it did at 6 players. I played at 3 and at 6, and it plays from 2 to 8. And I think that's a really unique and a really good accomplishment, to be able to have a game that plays and feels the same at 3 players as it does at 6 to 8 players, and also to have a game that's 8 players that's not a party game, I think is a really good accomplishment. I think a lot of people are looking for that. If you like bidding games, I think it'd be a great fit for your collection. It's $15 on the Kickstarter, but it will be available in retail. So if you missed the Kickstarter, don't worry, you'll be able to find this hopefully at your local game store. If not, it should be on the 25th Century website. And we'll cover all the rest of the games in separate videos. Again, I really enjoyed each game. They bring something different to the table. I think it's a really well-balanced multi-game Kickstarter, which is not always the case with publishers that do a Kickstarter for multiple games at a time. There's no filler here. They're all solid games that have a really good mechanic or a different type of game that they bring to the table. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave us a comment below. We'll also leave links to the Kickstarter so that you can check all these games out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.